these kids were allowed to have bodyguards with them, and they're licensed to shoot. It's true, we have bulletproof windows. Hey guys, it's Steff. Today I'll be telling you guys the juicy details of what school life is like in an international school. But before I start, please don't forget to turn on your notifications and hit the subscribe button. As some of you may know from my last video, I attended a lot of different schools in a lot of different countries. And because my parents were always worried that I might fall behind my studies, so they always put me in an international school, since lower, middle, and high school. That's because the curriculum and school life was not that different. I always thought it was the norm until I attended a private Taiwanese school when I came back. That was when it completely blew my mind. It was totally different worlds. And as I lived in Taiwan for quite a while, I realized that there was a lot of stigma towards international school students too. So today I decided to give you guys the insight of what it's actually like in an international school. Obviously, because there's a lot of aspects to this, I decided to just sum up the 4 commonly seen things at international schools. So for starters, I want to tell you guys about how serious the school takes privacy and security. You know how there's like a rumor saying that most international schools have bulletproof windows?
What did you say?
It's true, we have bulletproof windows.
What did she say?
But this has a lot to do with past events that happened and also who is attending that school. Because occasionally, from time to time, we get really famous people or very rich people who attend our school, and that has a lot to do with what I'm about to tell you later. So for example, if you wanted to come to our school, you would either have a parent pass, alumni pass, or student pass. If you have none of these, then you're obligated to register and leave your ID at the security room. And also throughout the school, you'll realize that there's like a billion cameras. I am not kidding. As a kid, I was always afraid that I'd get caught cheating. That's how many cameras we have at school. At the drop-off and pickup zone, you are usually required to have a tag that sticks onto your windscreen, because without that, you wouldn't be able to drive in. And last but not least, there's a lot of famous or rich kids' child that attends our school. As I was saying previously, we have a lot of kids with very special backgrounds. What I thought was norm is actually mind-blowing for my friends, and that is these kids were allowed to have bodyguards with them 24/7, and they're licensed to shoot. Well, I guess better safe than sorry, right? Yeah, please don't kill me.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
If I'm gone tomorrow, guys, you know what's happening. So the second point I want to be talking about is counseling. So not only do we have college counseling, we have a normal counselor's office. Basically, she acts as a psychiatrist. In my case, I think it's very helpful because I went through a pretty messy relationship while I was in high school, and she was a lot of help. So to this day, I'm still very appreciative of our school having this sort of system. It was also nice as a teenager who went through a lot of emotional roller coasters to know that there was an adult you could trust and someone who actually gives out good advice. A lot of teenagers have difficulty seeking for help, and that's because they don't trust anyone. So I think this could potentially lower the chances of teenagers kind of derailing. But then again, that's just my take. For college counseling, so whenever we hit our junior year, we were assigned to a specific counselor who would help us for the next 2 years on guiding us on how to apply for different colleges. I think it was really helpful because if you've ever applied for college, you would know what I mean. Like, I had,
14 applications?
It was hell. So yeah, basically the counselors help tell you what courses you should take or what activities you should be participating to increase your chances of getting into your dream school. And they also analyze on what types of schools you're more likely to get in and which types of schools might be a bit of a reach. But then again, it's up to your free will if you want to shoot your shot. They just help you analyze and go through the application process. For example, each university actually has a different application system, unless it's like UC schools. Basically, we had to write different essays, apply and give out different documents. It can be a lot of pressure, especially when it's time sensitive. So it does help a lot when someone keeps track for you and lets you know what's missing or what should be added. So the third point I want to talk about is how the lunch is freaking amazing, but it does get boring. I have to say, hands down, they had like the best food I've ever had for schools. For starters, they had a hot lunch, a pizza place, a snack bar, and a fitness cafe. So for the hot lunch, it's what you see in most movies. It's you take a tray and there was some sort of vegetable, a protein, and a carb. For the pizza place, you are allowed to buy pizzas in slices. And as a pepperoni fan, I think I ate pizza for like a whole year straight. I I'm not kidding. It was that good.
And I gained a lot of weight from it.
But that's besides the point. The third one, which I went to quite often as well, was the snack bar. Because in between our classes, we had around 15 to 20 minutes of recess. And during that period of time, we're allowed to go to a snack bar, which meant we could buy cookies, ice cream, yogurts, stuff like that. And last but not least is the fitness cafe. They sold healthier stuff like, brown rice with beef or something.
Clearly, this girl did eat pizza the whole year straight.
And there was also another thing. We had a privilege for seniors, which meant that we were allowed to leave campus and eat, because no matter how good the food is, eventually you'll get sick of it, trust me. And last but not least is the way we pay. Obviously you could pay by cash, but back then we were students, so I don't think our parents would give us that much cash anyways. So they decided that we would just top up in our student ID. The parents could just wire the money from time to time, or they could give the kid cash so they could top up in their card, which I think is very convenient. It's kind of like having a credit card at school. So the last one I want to talk about is the class schedule. In most cases, it's a lot like university, where you get to choose which courses you liked and when you wanted to take these courses. And that obviously meant that everyone had different schedules, which also meant that there's no school bell. But as someone who just came from a local Singapore school, obviously that meant that I was used to having a school bell because we had very different curriculums. I think it was the first day of school where we had like a 15-minute break. I ended up taking an hour, and it wasn't until I looked around the cafeteria and saw no one did I then realize that I was supposed to be in class. Other than that, we also had two systems because most international schools are actually prepped to go abroad. We had an AP system and an IB system. I personally was an IB diploma student. As some of you may know, IB diploma is actually most commonly used in the UK and Canada. IB diploma had very specific requirements. It usually consists of a 2-year course. So no matter what course it was, it could be bio, English, chem, it took 2 years. And our actual exam would actually take place at the end of our senior year. We also had other requirements such as service hours and a very, very, very long ass essay. So yeah, that was what consisted of an IB diploma. As for AP, it would usually be a 1-year course and also had the same subjects. It was just the same amount of knowledge in a very short period of time. And yes, AP was used mostly in the States. What I meant by these two courses applying to these specific regions is because these credits could actually potentially be used for our university credits. I guess it makes your life a lot easier. And another thing is we don't necessarily have to take a certain diploma. It could be a mix and match between IB and AP. So it really depends on how a student learns. Now that I think of it, it actually gives us a lot of flexibility because then we would be able to choose which courses were more suitable for us. So yeah, I think that's the 4 points that are most commonly seen in international schools. But then again, I haven't attended that many. So if you guys think there are other common things that happen at international schools, feel free to comment below. And if you're a pepperoni fan, please raise your hand. Hopefully today's video has given you guys more insight to what it's actually like in an international school. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!